This vidcast explains the genre and expectations of this style of report writing. Enjoy the vidcast. No matter our profession, we educate ourselves about breaking issues in our fields by doing background research. Our research might be formal or informal, conducted in the library or at the conference table, by asking other people in our field or in related fields what they've heard about new topics and trends. White papers provide background for decisions. The white paper is intended to update long-term professionals on current trends and developments in their fields. As you begin to write your own white paper, it's important to ask, what does an excellent white paper do? First, it takes a unique and clear approach to a specific topic or trend, sharing research that is up to date. Second, it's written to a specific audience using arguments, claims, and information that work well to inform that audience about the topic or trend under discussion. And three, it provides thorough research, including at least 5 diverse sources through a variety of research approaches, including internet pool research, magazine, newsletter, and book searches, as well as interviews or discussions with professionals in your field. In this way, white papers differ from recommendation reports and feasibility reports because they do not necessarily reach an exact decision about a topic. They don't tell you, for example, what action a group should take. Instead, they offer background information upon which decisions could be made in the future, thus functioning somewhat like research papers. Successful white papers include 6 sections. The executive summary begins the white paper, and in this brief overview, you should introduce and summarize your research, as well as establish the expectations for what's to follow in your report. In your executive summary, you want to make sure to state clearly how your research topic is relevant or useful, either generally to businesses in your industry or specifically to your company. Give us a good reason, as company executives, to want to read this. The next section is typically an introduction. Your introduction should prepare your readers in more detail for the main issues of the paper. You may choose to begin by defining the major terms in your report, or by giving a specific anecdote about how this topic is important to your company or industry. Avoid road mapping in this situation, by which we mean just stating the section headings of the report. Set up your audience's expectations for the whole report, and especially make its purpose and relevance clear, but there's not necessarily a need to provide a table of contents here. The next section of a white paper is often called previous approaches. In this section, you provide an overview of previous approaches or strategies that people have used regarding this topic, either at your company for an internal report or in your larger field for an external report. For example, if you're informing your company about new techniques for sampling groundwater, you'll need to discuss the techniques they already use traditionally in your field. If you're informing your company about social media trends, you might explain how team members currently collaborate. Maybe they use email primarily, and how those strategies could use improvement. Maybe there are more organized ways to work online as a team that you can plan to introduce in your white paper. The most important part of the white paper is the next section, where you deliver new findings. Your job in the report is to both present and interpret the data on your topic for your audience. Data or research does not speak for itself. It requires that you explain its relevance clearly and directly in a way that is understandable to your audience, but also respectful of them. What's most important for your ethos and credibility as a researcher is that you make it clear in the report where data comes from, including your infographics, and that you integrate it into the report by explaining how it's relevant to your report's stated purpose. You wrap up the white paper with a conclusion section where you discuss your research findings in comparison to the previous approaches that you overviewed in the beginning. Although conclusions of white papers don't have to suggest specific strategies or solutions, they should offer insight into the topic or concern that instigated the research in the first place. Most white papers end with some kind of source citation or a bibliography. Be sure to list all of your sources and reference materials in a section at the end of your white paper. These can be designed to fit unobtrusively near the conclusion of your report, or they can be given their own page. The idea is to make sure that your readers can find the same articles, websites, and books that you cited in your text. While it's not required that you follow a citation style like MLA or APA, Such a guide is often familiar to readers in your field and can help them recognize the format and find your sources more quickly. Therefore, it's often a good idea to stick with such a style formatting. Overall, your sections don't have to have these boring titles like New Findings and Previous Approaches. Get creative. Name the sections according to the information you'll present within them. For example, instead of Previous Approaches, you might write Previous Strategies for Collaborating Online or Previous Techniques for Sampling Groundwater. Your sections should reflect the knowledge that people in your field share and recognize, and inspire them to read each section carefully. This has been a presentation of White Papers, written and produced by Katie Trouth Taylor and brought to you in collaboration with the Purdue Online Writing Lab.